Are we up? Oh, I think we is up. I'm going to assume we are up. Yeah, live. Okay. So, Mr. Isaac. So, while I try to figure out what I'm going to say here, you're being handed a top 3 team in a 16-team fantasy football league. It's really cool. Like, it's a very good team. Yesterday, watch, I'll show you. Anyway, just make sure you come to ESPN.com. I know you signed up for an account and signed in already, but I usually I bookmark my team so I go straight to it. But this little thing here, and then there'll be like a login dealie here, and then from fantasy, just pick your team. And after I show you, I'm gonna log off. I'm gonna delete myself off your team, so it's completely yours. So when you hit your team here, right, you're gonna see right here. This is your last week's score, 268. That was a top score last week, up here on the scoreboard, just like a scoreboard for any kind of sport. Well, your team will be up here when you select your team. Actually, let me go to your team and do that so you know what it looks like. That's our chat. I'm going to invite you to that. The main room is called the Barbershop. Alright, so this is what your team looks like. But let's go to the scoreboard real quick just so I can show you how strong you are. It's because this fantasy football is not for young, impatient people. Because you might suck for years, but you are not going in that direction. So we're about to start week 3 or week 4. So like last night, the last game was ended, Monday Night Football. And you did say that you had played fantasy football before. You had managed your dad's team or something like that. So this is your team. I just named it league owned, and then I named it R. Wilson after Russell Wilson because he's like your best player, and almost got 50 points last night. 268. If you look at all the scores, 268 was the best score in the whole league, and we have 16 teams. And you beat me by like 2 points, and you beat. This is our champion. This guy's like the best. He's like multiple championships. Like he's trying to get his 3rd in a row. So he's really good. He's a slick shit. He's a slick turd. You gotta watch out for him. He'll try to trade you, and he'll convince you water's not wet or whatever. Yeah. So that's like a scoreboard. But the procedure is just to do this every week. And again, it's the same thing as normal fantasy teams. But I'm just gonna go through and show you what I do. So like, here are some statistics. They're all pretty good. Proj, it just stands for projected. So he's projected to get 19.3 points. This is opponent rank, so it just means that like quarterbacks versus this team here, the New York Giants, that they're the 14th worst. Wait, 14th? Yeah, 14th worst for quarterbacks. So if you ever see this it's even in red here. This means that your tight end Travis Kelce, he's going to go up against a team, the New England Patriots, that is top 8, the 8th best defending tight ends here, the position. All right, so percentage starting. This just means the percentage of people that are actually starting this quarterback on all fantasy leagues. But this number here and this number here. And to a little degree, this number here doesn't really matter for our league because most leagues are 10 teams. Ours is 16, so we're gonna start a lot of players that nobody else is even gonna have on their roster. So this means percentage of people starting. This is a percentage of teams or percentage of leagues that have this player on a roster. This is the percentage of teams that picked up Mr. Goff. PRK, that's his position rank. So his position is quarterback, obviously, and 9 means he's the 9th best fantasy quarterback in this league. Here is fantasy points. Here's his average, and there is the amount of points he scored last game. Okay. And the way I designed this league is that you should have like 11 offensive players, 11 defensive players, a kicker, a punter, and a coach. And then you get like 15 slots for bench. I don't know if that's exactly correct, but you got about 15 slots for bench. These 4 spots down here, they're called the IR spots. You put guys with IR or O. That means out. And so that could be, you could be sick, you could be injured, you can put those guys on the IR, then you can go to the free agents, you go to the players and add players to add player. And your team is pretty strong, you probably don't have to do that. But it is a key strategy, especially in the early part of the league. So what I do is, every week, come to my team, and I'll look at my quarterback, and I'll just, the easy way to do is to click on this, and you see he's 19.3. Well, Russell Wilson here, 28.4, so you might want to replace him there. And the reason that is because OP slots can take anybody, but quarterbacks score more points than everybody anyway. But if you highlight it like that, 19.3, you can come down here and compare. So you're not going to put any of these guys in. They're not going to score. Derek Carr, 17.4, not as good as that guy. You know what I mean? And so it's pretty easy to look this way. So you wouldn't move him at all. You'd leave his ass right there. And you can do that for all of them. And so if you get lazy like me, which I wouldn't recommend until you absolutely know what you're doing. And I would say ooh right here because you got this back right here. He's going to face a really bad running back defense. But I'm going to just do like one more. Probably pick something that has a highly Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk. What was he? He was 5'9". See, like, you have all these options. I hear this guy's going to be injured, so you might want to watch him, but he's a superstar. 8'6", but Rex Burkhead is 6'8". So you might want to make that change. Unless you have a belief or feeling that, Ayuk is going to be better than Burkhead. But you can do that with, like, all your team. Just go through. Search like that. If you find something that's not going to work, let's say right here, like maybe this is a D. See how he's got a D? That's pretty bad. Because usually it's a P for probable, D for doubtful, and then O for out. So D's like, you rarely see those. They're pretty much out. But you have a backup kicker because I probably designed your draft strategy, so you got backups ready. But let's say you needed a new kicker. Any position, but let's say you just need a new kicker. You go up here to add player. I feel like my stuff's like slow, but I'm supposed to have a fast internet and a fast computer. So the reason these are all yellow is because we have what's called a waiver wire. That's to just give everybody equal chance to get a player, so that not just people that stay up till midnight can just log in and get it. But here are the positions up here that you're trying to fill. So we go to like K. And then when I'm here, I look at a couple things. If I'm just replacing a guy for like one game, I'm going to sort it by projected. And then if this is pretty good, and maybe this is pretty good, and these two numbers are kind of similar, I'm going to take this guy. And the reason I do that is because, well, he's going to score a lot of points, he's facing a bad thing, and then if these two numbers are close, that tells you that the, oh my god, they're annoying me with that noise. Didn't know you could do that. Yeah, so mathematically, if these two numbers are really close, then this guy is a pretty consistent player. And you can do that however you want. But that's how you build a player. And that's pretty much how you play every week. I'm definitely going to invite you to chat. I hope you're active. Just be aware the chat is full of older 20-year-olds, mid-30-year-old dudes that all think they're the shit. So they're going to talk shit, they're going to cuss, they're going to make jokes about girls and poop, and they're going to call you a bitch, and they'll probably try to trade you, and if you don't do what they say, they'll make fun of you, but you just got to just chill with that. I mean, they're good guys. I just hope they don't get out of hand. Yeah, I'll send you that. Let me make sure I've done everything here, because that's just the basics. Let's see. League home. I don't think there's much to go over. Yeah. See, when the league started, you were considered one of the worst. You're already up 9 spots. Wow, I'm undefeated, and I got downgraded to 4th. And that's you. You've been upgraded to 2nd. Look at that. Boom. They said, hey, look at this guy. Up to 2. Make sure you rename your team to him. Get a new icon in there. I'll go over that. This is my mom, Julie's Purple Posse. She's up to 12. This is Mr. Pickett. Mr. Pickett, last place. Pulling up the rear like a good old football fan. Alright, to change your team stuff, just go to my team. And then I'll just let you, like, message me questions. Or you can go to the Discord chat and ask the people there. Those are usually some pretty friendly cats. Team settings right here. You can change the name and put your own email address in there and change that and change your logo. The last guy, he was in the Navy or something like that, Air Force, I guess. Alright, that's it. If you have anything, just message me questions or come into the Discord after I send you the invite, and that's about that.